Let's talk about Hume's breakdown of personal identity. Now, in his book, A Treatise of Human Nature, the philosopher David Hume discusses personal identity and comes to quite an unsettling conclusion. That being that the stable self that we think we are might not exist in the way we believe. Most people like to believe that beneath all of our thoughts, feelings, and changing beliefs, there is some unchanging, grounded core. This sort of permanent self that remains throughout time. Even if our personality changes, even if our beliefs change, we like to believe that there is still some underlying I that exists throughout time. But Hume just rejects that entirely. He argues that when he looks inward, he never sees a self as such. He encounters only particular perceptions, a feeling, a thought, a sensation, a memory, but he never finds some separate, stable substance underneath them that could be called the self. Now, from this comes what is often called Hume's bundle theory. The mind is not a singularly unified thing. It is more like a collection or a bundle of constantly changing perceptions. And what we call the self is just the name that we give to that flow. So, why do we believe in a continuous identity? Well, Hume's answer to this is that the imagination creates one. Memory collects different experiences over time, and the mind then soothes them into one collective identity. We impose coherence on what is in reality a shifting concession of mental states. That is why personal identity becomes such a weak philosophical position under Hume's analysis. It feels obvious, it feels undeniable, but once you try to locate the self in the human experience, it becomes more difficult to find than you would imagine. And to me, what I think makes this argument so powerful is that Hume isn't simply being abstract. Instead, what he's doing is showing us this inherent tension that exists within human existence. We live as though we are these singular, enduring selves, and things like morality and responsibility all hinge on this. And yet, the self may be less a discovered reality than a useful construction. So what Hume is ultimately doing here is forcing us to confront this possibility that identity is not something fixed beneath experience, but rather something the mind continuously assembles out of change.